What's going on, guys? Orange Form coming at you guys today again with another video. And today we'll be talking about Detroit Lions visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers up at Heinz Field. What a weird game this was, but we'll get that in a bit. Inactives: defensive end Austin Bryant for the Lions, defensive end Jesse Lemonnier, wide receiver Josh Reynolds. Sorry, Lions fans, you didn't get to see him play right away. He got there kind of late. Only had him for a few days. Couldn't get a package in there for him. Didn't really expect him to play. Defensive tackle Kevin Strong, inactive, and running back Jamal Williams had an injury. For the Steelers, wide receiver Chase Claypool injured. Cornerback Akella Witherspoon. Running back Anthony McFarland. Linebacker Buddy Johnson. And center BJ Finley. Now, this was the debut of Dan Campbell calling the plays for the Detroit Lions. And it was an odd one at that. My emotions were kind of running wild on this one, guys. Didn't really know, kind of knee-jerk reaction at first on what he was doing, but then, it takes a little bit for me to digest things, and I'll get to that in a bit because I didn't really know what he was trying to do at one point, but then you think about it and you figure it out. This is what he did, and we'll get to that in a bit. I'll probably talk about that at the end. But Decker was also back. Big Ben was out with COVID. It was just a weird game all around. The Detroit Lions deferred, so they got Steelers got the ball back, first possession. Mason Rudolph was starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Washington with a 6-yard catch. James Washington. Najee Harris with a first down run for 5 yards. Harris making people miss with another 3-yard run, getting that first down. Ray McLeod, who had a big game, he was in college with Mason Rudolph, and they were teammates. So he had a first down catch. He had a pretty good day too as well. It was a high snap too on that play. Line just couldn't get any pressure, but it was a high snap, and Rudolph kept his composure. Then Najee Harris with another 2-yard run. Michael Brockers almost stripped it. He was going for the strip. Najee Harris is a pretty strong kid. Ebron then had a catch for 5 yards. That made it third down. Then there was a pass interference on a deep ball by Warrior for 29 yards. Then Najee Harris was running hard for another 12 yards for a first down. Then another 2-yard run for Najee. Then there was a high throw by Rudolph to Pat Freiermuth. He was open. He had him on a third down. And then there was a touchdown. James Washington, easy pitch and catch. 11 plays, took quite a bit of time off the clock. That made it 7-0. Pittsburgh Steelers. Lions get the ball back. First possession. I'd like to talk about every play. There's a penalty right away. False start on Jonah Jackson. Just undisciplined. Then there was a pitch to Swift. It was stuffed. No yards. Brock Wright, 2-yard passes. That made it third down and long. Then there was a draw play on a third down. Swift for about 7-8 yards. They ended up punting. This is where I was like, third down. You're third and long, and you're doing draw plays. You're running the ball. Then it didn't stop there. Then the Steelers get the ball back. Flowers in coverage looked kind of funny. He didn't look right there. 8-yard gain by Derek Watt, the fullback, and then a great D by Jalen Reeves-Maven made a really nice run stuff on a wide receiver stretch. I believe it was Washington. I think it was Washington who was trying to carry the ball. Then it was a 3-and-out and the punt. So the Lions getting the ball back. Jefferson with a nice 9-yard run. Good blocking inside. Third down, another run. Short of first down. They end up punting again. So another third down and another run. Didn't get it. So they end up punting. Right here, my mind's clear. My mind's going 100 miles an hour at this point. So Steelers get the ball back. The Warrior can't cover anybody, so he's slow on catching up to McLeod. First down. Then AO makes a nice play on a quick screen for loss. Getting physical in there. You do like that at least. Back to back. He made one bad play. You make a good play. And then Lions D-line getting some push on Rudolph. Created a third down. Then it was interception. Julian Okwara pretending he was going in for the sack. Pretending he was blitzing. Shot right back out. Bad throw by Rudolph, but Okwara was just standing right there, hit him right in the arms. He ended up getting his first pick of his NFL career. So Lions get the ball back, deep ball underthrown. Jared Goff had Khalif Raymond deep. He had his man beat by 2-3 steps, few yards. Just has no arm. Okay, he just has no arm, and I think he's hurt at this point. There was talk about it that at first they were saying it was a lower back problem, lower left back. Then it turned out to be an oblique. Who knows what's going on with Jared Goff? So then another draw play to Swift. This was on another third down. Watt blows it up, blows up St. Brown on the block. Don't know why you have him on Raw, St. Brown trying to block TJ Watt, but whatever. Blows it up, punt. So another punt. Three runs on three runs on 3 third downs, and you can't succeed. You're punting the ball. So I'm fuming at this point. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I know Goff is not a good quarterback, but what's going on? So you're thinking injuries. You're thinking he's just that bad. What's going on? So Steelers get the ball. It's about the second quarter about right now. Marlowe with a nice defensive play. Then up punting the ball. There wasn't too much going on really with the Steelers ball that way. Lions get the ball back again. Raymond almost takes a punt back. Slipped a couple tackles. Took it for about 50 yards. Got good field position. Then Jefferson with a nice first down run. Then there was another great run by the rookie Jamar Jefferson on a nice hole. He made a nice little move. Big hole, touchdown run for about 28 yards, and he ends up hurting himself. At first I thought it was a hip, then I think it turned out to be a knee or an ankle. I believe it was an ankle. He was done for the game. But it made it 7-7 tie. Steelers get the ball back. Great play by Brockers again. He shoots into the backfield, makes a nice run stuff. More penalties on Detroit though. Charles Harris with a nice stop on a wide receiver pitch for a loss. Then offside, Detroit, Brockers. Najee Harris gashing Detroit on some runs here, back and forth. Then touchdown, Najee Harris got called back though. It was a holding. And then Lions hold Steelers to a field goal, at least in the red zone. Good D there. They kind of make up for a few blunders. That makes it 7-10, Pittsburgh Steelers. Then Lions get the ball back. Goff in the medical tent. This is when you start realizing that he is hurt. He's actually in the medical tent, and this is where I wrote left lower back because that's what the guys were saying on the TV. Looks hurt. Looks like he was wincing throwing the ball on the sidelines. So now we know there's something going on. So Swift with a 15-yard run. O-line pushing Swift all the way for that 15-yarder. St. Brown catches a ball, but he's short of the first down. He had a chance to reach for that first down. Never did. You should know where the sticks are at all times. Rookie mistake. Then they went for it. Swift with a really, really good run, powering for a first down and more. So they got the first down, and Swift leaping over defenders. Made a really nice play, leaping over a defender for another great run. And then Goff with a horrible throw, almost throws a pick. Looks like he was trying to throw a screen to TJ Hawkinson, felt a little pressure, kind of threw it into a crowd. Didn't even look. His vision is just terrible. Throws it into a crowd, almost picked off, but unfortunately it wasn't. There's zero confidence in Goff throwing the ball. They run again on third down. Field goal good, makes it 10-10. Going into halftime at 10-10. Third quarter starts. Great return on the kick return by Igwebuike, but holding on Kadero Hodge. So they get the ball back on the 15 where they would have had way better field position. Swift with another great run with 20+. Lions running well. Shocking. Running well inside too on a team that that's their strength with Cameron Hayward. But they were running really well inside. Another run on third down and 9. First down Swift. He finally gets it. But just an odd choice of play call again though. Then Igwebuike gashing for about 13 yards. Then Igwebuike again runs for about a 40-yard touchdown. Nice run, big hole. Didn't really have to make any guys miss, kind of like sliding off guys though. That made it 16-10. Our kicker, Ryan Santoso, missed an extra point. That extra point is going to come back to haunt us. You'll see that in a bit. Steelers ball, Rudolph scrambling for a big first down. Lions make a great play on D in the next play, stretching out Harris. Then Jalen Reeves-Maybin, late hit. Harris out of bounds, so undisciplined. Had him stopped, and then you hit the guy out of bounds. You have to be much smarter than that. 2 flags on the D. Offside Detroit, and then I thought it was 2 flags on the D, but it was offside Detroit, and then it was a pass interference on Deontay Johnson, so it offset the play, do the down over. Rudolph throws moonshots. When this guy throws a ball, it's weird. He has no zip, zero zip. He throws like rainbows. It's like it's really weird throwing motion. No zip, just rainbows. And then when he throws, just lofts the ball. Amani Aurier with a pass breakup. Offside Detroit again. Rudolph first down run. Walker with a big hit, but hurts himself. It looks like he was concussed. Looked like he was almost out cold. He hit Rudolph really, really hard though, but Rudolph didn't feel a thing. Walker literally knocked himself out. Then it was a good pressure on Rudolph. I think it was Brockers. Then Rudolph misses an easy touchdown to Ray McLeod. He had him wide open, missed him. Then he got the field goal. That made it 16-13 for still Detroit. Detroit was still in the lead. Lions get the ball back. St. Brown with a nice running catch. Sewell springs St. Brown on a nice, pretending he was going to go up, pretending he was running downhill for a block, then shot out to his right and took out the corner. Made a real nice run block. It was a real nice run block by Sewell. Sewell had a great game, by the way. Then there was a 1-yard pass on third down. They ended up punting. Then they were going forward on 4th and 5, delay a game. It looks like they might have been trying to get some room for Jack Fox, but don't really know. They ended up punting the football. Steelers get the ball back. Nice run by Levi and Wazirike. Good D by Jerry Jacobs on Deontay Johnson with another pass breakup. And then another run stop by Jalen Reeves-Maven and Aquara. Flowers looked like he got banged up there. Rudolph has zero zip on the ball again. Another loft to James Washington. Pass breakup by Amani Aurier. He did have some nice pass breakups, Amani Aurier. Even though I kind of bashed him a little bit there. He did have a decent game. The Lions get the ball back as Pittsburgh punted. Goff, he has about 30 yards passing at this point. Really terrible game for Jared Goff. Then Goff got sacked. TJ Watt, it looked like TJ Hawkinson or Brock Bright were trying to block TJ Watt. That's a tough assignment. And he ended up getting to Goff as a sack. Then Decker jumped. That made it 3rd and 20, and they ended up punting anyways. Steelers ball. 4th quarter now. We're still in the lead here. 4th quarter, offensive pass interference on Steelers. On another moon ball from Rudolph. James Washington push off against Mark Gilbert. A little bit weak call, I thought. That made it 3rd down, but then they hit a field goal. 51-yarder, of course. That made it 16-16 tie. Lions get the ball back. TJ Watt is out at this time. Goff is so bad. Can't throw to save his life. Just awful. 3rd and 10 and a 2-yard pass. Don't know what's going on here. They end up punting. Contact on the punter. Campbell going for it on their own 4th and 1. Kabinda gets the first down. So the gambler taking shots again. Dan Campbell. Then Swift stuffed for another 5 yards. This team refuses to throw the ball downfield, or they just don't have that capability in their quarterback. 3rd and 14th, and they run again. 3rd and 14th, they run again. Loss of downs. They don't get it. Done. Boom. So Steelers get the ball back. Steelers punting. Mason misses a wide open Deontay Johnson again. It looked like the ball was kind of off. If he would have caught it, it looked like he would have been off for the races, gone. And then Lions get the ball back again. Illegal chop block by Hawkinson. Hawkinson had a terrible game. He had no catches. He had like 1 or 2 targets, a couple bad penalties. Probably his worst game of his career. And then it looks like they're just trying to give this game away. So they keep running the football. 3rd down, 3rd and 12. Goff takes a sack. Cameron Hayward blows by Taylor Decker. And I had a problem with this one. Because you could see in the background Taylor Decker giving the old shoulders like, oh well. He gave literally like a shoulders, like a oopsie, like, and then he's all bitter because he was hearing his name was in trade talks during his time when he was on IR. Like, man up, dude. Like I don't know, man. Like, why are you getting upset? I don't understand why you get upset if you're. I know you. Apparently, you want to stay here in Detroit. That's great, but don't get upset because you hear your name in trade talks, man. And then all of a sudden, give the old shoulder shrug when your quarterback gets killed. So whatever. And the Steelers get the ball back. Levi O with another stuff, made a third down. Then Gilbert with a nice pass breakup, some pressure up front by the Lions defensive line. Lions get the ball back. 2 minutes to go. Lions punting again. Nothing really happened. Steelers ball. Game tied 19 seconds. Nothing happened. We go into overtime. Tied 16. Tied 16-16. Lions get the ball back. Big gain by St. Brown for 30. All of a sudden they do a really nice, beautiful play action pass. Goff hits St. Brown in stride, crossing through the middle. Makes a beautiful gain. Then Goff gets sacked. Holding, Detroit will hold. They end up punting. Steelers ball. Deontay Johnson with a huge gain. Beats Marcus Gilbert on another moon ball by Mason Rudolph. Ball just floats in the air. And he beat Marcus Gilbert. Then Gilbert came back around after looked like Deontay Johnson almost broke free, had a big gain come out, and then he strips him of the ball. So and the Lions jumped on it. We got the ball back. Then Goff throws a pick, but there was a penalty on the Steelers holding. Lions retained the ball. Wow. Then a personal foul on Pittsburgh, Hayward, roughing the passer. I was like, I think it was Hayward. It was either Hayward or a corner. I forget, but he came low. Whoever it was, they came low and they hit Goff below the knees. That's why the call was made. And then there's a nice run by Swift on a pitch. Lions penalty, though, holding TJ Hawkinson. Field goal attempt for 48 yards by Ryan Santoso. Awful. It looked like a high school kid kicked this ball. Just low to the right and to the side. Low to the right and to the side. I don't even know how it didn't even get blocked. It was awful. It was an awful attempt. No good. Steelers get the ball back. Botch snap. That made it 3rd and 26. Just an ugly game. Elliott almost had a pick too. Jalen Elliott, undrafted free agent out of Notre Dame, safety. Ball was tipped in the air. Ball was kind of this way to his right. I thought he should have had it, but we just don't get the breaks. He almost had a pick. It would have been great field position. And then we get the ball back, though. Lions ball. Goff sacked on a safety blitz. Holding Detroit. I think it was Swift. And then they punted. Steelers get the ball back again. Pittsburgh driving at this point. Lions bringing pressure with 29 seconds left. Harris gets a first down catch. Najee, the kid out of Alabama. And then Lions get the ball back. There's a catch by Pat Freiermuth. Will Harris comes out of nowhere. Well, he's right there in front of Freiermuth. Goes low. Hits the ball out of Freiermuth's hands. Trey Flowers, Johnny on the spot, drops down, gets the ball back. Lions get the ball back. Too little, too late. We don't get any kind of... there was just not enough time. There was about 8 to 10 seconds left. And we ended up tying this game. 16-16. Tie game. The Lions fall to 0-8-1. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, well, they don't fall because they didn't lose, but I guess you consider that a loss. But it's not a win either. It's not a loss, so whatever you want to call it. Then the Steelers go to 5-3-1. The stats lines, quarterback Jared Goff is 14 for 25 for 114 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 pick. Just an awful game. Rushing, Swift was 33 carries for 130 yards at a 3.9 yards per carry. Igwebuike had 22 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown. Jamar Jefferson had 3 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown. Over 220 plus yards on the ground as a unit for the Detroit Lions. Really nice on the ground. Receiving, St. Brown had a decent day. 4 catches for 61 yards at 15.3 per clip. And then Cleve Raymond had 4 catches for 31 yards. Anybody after that, nothing really. Swift had 3 catches. Benson had a couple catches as well. Defense, Tracy Walker had 7 tackles and a couple big hits. Monty Warrior had 7 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, a few pass breakups. He had a decent game. Julian Okwara, 2 tackles and a pick. Mark Gilbert, 3 tackles and a forced fumble. And I think he had a couple pass breakups too. Trey Flowers had 2 tackles and a fumble recovery. And then Will Harris had 3 tackles and 1 forced fumble as well, the safety. For the Steelers, quarterback Mason Rudolph went 30 for 50 for 242 yards and a touchdown, 1 pick. Rushing, Najee Harris had a really good day on the ground for 26 carries, 105 yards. yards per carry. Receiving, Deontay Johnson had a nice day for them. 7 catches for 83 yards at 11.9 per reception. Ray McLeod had 9 catches for 63 yards as well. And James Washington had 2 catches for 15 yards and a score. Defense, Joe Schobert had a bunch of tackles, 13 to be exact. Alex Highsmith, 11 tackles as well. Terrell Edmonds had 5 tackles and a sack. Cameron Hayward had 5 tackles and 2 sacks. And then TJ Watt had 5 tackles and a sack and then had to leave the game a little bit earlier than expected. But this was a game, guys, 16-16. No moral victories here. A game where Dan Campbell took over the play calling. And a lot of people are upset about this Dan Campbell running the ball constantly, not switching out Jared Goff. I don't really have that big of a problem with him not switching out Jared Goff for David Blau. Apparently, 97.1 the ticket makes it a huge deal calling out Dan Campbell. Apparently, Dan Campbell talked to Jared Goff on the sidelines, talked to Anthony Lynn, talked to the doctor, talked to a few guys, and they discussed whether they were going to pull him. Okay, at one point, he couldn't throw the football, I guess, very well. Whatever they did, he started throwing the ball later on in the third quarter. But this was a game where either A, he couldn't throw the ball at all, and Dan Campbell had no trust, or B, he just has no faith in his quarterback, which I kind of believe, which is true. And C, I still think this team is tanking. They ran the ball for 220 yards as a unit. DeAndre Swift had 33 carries. That's unheard of. That's the most he's ever done so far in his early career. So you can look at this a bunch of different ways. Now, should he maybe have pulled him? I don't know the extent of the injury, but at one point they were thinking about pulling him. So it must not have been that bad though to where they had to pull him, because I just don't have. I can't think that Dan Campbell's that dumb, that this coaching staff is that dumb. They must have had some type of okay with him that he was okay to throw the ball. But he didn't do it for a while. He was just pretty much handing the ball off and throwing like little screens here and there. Just nothing. And that was the offense, though. They ran the ball, and they ran the ball well. But then when the O-line let up some pressure, Decker didn't have a great first game back. Tight ends trying to block, guys like TJ Watt, which is tough. Cameron Hayward, he schooled Taylor Decker on an inside move and beat him to get to Goff. And then I did not like the fact that Taylor Decker shrugged his shoulders thinking it was no big deal. And it's out there. Look for it. And then defensively, they played okay. They played up against a backup quarterback. At this point, I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is that good anyways. He's obviously better than Mason Rudolph. Let's not kid ourselves. But they played decent against him. Only got 1 touchdown, and it was in the red zone. The defense, Ben don't break. He only gave up 16 points. Couldn't stop anybody on the ground, though. Couldn't stop Najee Harris on the ground. I think that was Najee's second game over 100 yards. So it's not like the Pittsburgh Steelers have a great run offense, but they looked good against the Detroit Lions. Everybody looks good against Detroit Lions. But through the air, they looked okay. They held everybody pretty much in check. A couple guys had some decent games, like Deontay Johnson and James Washington had an okay game. Ray McLeod had a bunch of catches as well too, but they held some guys out of the end zone. They only gave up a couple scores. All in all, no moral victories here. Just a bad game overall. A strange game, a game that I didn't know what was going. I didn't know what was going on with Jared Goff. I didn't know why Dan Campbell kept insisting on running the football at one point. I was just like, what's going on? And then you find out later that you know, Goff is hurt and all that stuff. And it's just, I think it's a mixed bag of things. An injury, zero faith, no confidence in his quarterback. I can't wait for the Jared Goff experiment to be over. But 16-16 tie, guys. There's not really a whole bunch to talk about. Ryan Santoso is a terrible kicker for the Detroit Lions. He needs to be replaced. He hits that extra point. We probably win. You know, anything could have happened though. But he misses a 48-yard field goal too. That's pretty long in those conditions too. But you're an NFL kicker. Boswell's hitting 51-yarders. I'm not comparing the two kickers. I'm just saying you have to come up big in big moments. And he didn't even come close in that 48-yarder. Other than that, you know, DeAndre Swift was an animal. Anybody else on offense, you know, St. Brown had a good game. Sewell had a great game. The O-line overall as a unit played good. You know, they gave up a couple pressures, gave up a couple sacks in the end though. But overall, I thought it was a good effort by the offense on the ground and the O-line. Still don't have a passing game. And then defense, you know, a couple guys made some plays. Still didn't create enough pressure. But a couple guys were Johnny on the spot and made some plays. It's something to build on. Good luck against the Cleveland Browns. That's what we got next. But thanks for the video, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, get all my videos, and don't forget to like and comment. Like and comment. It's all about the likes and comments so we can discuss. Let's go. Boom. Go Lions.